Okay, so let's see how to use the code. So you obviously need to download the code, and you will also need Go in your system. If you want to run the code as soon as possible, you will just type go run dot, and basically that's it. I mean, you will find the IP from this website right here. So this is the default target for the website. So if we check the website, on the DNS information for this website, we will see it is using Akamai, and this is the IP for this website using Akamai. But the goal is to get the real IP from this website. So in order to do that, we just type go run, and that's it. And we wait, obviously, to get the IP. It shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. I mean, 3 minutes, probably less, 3 minutes maximum. And the result will be here. We see that it didn't find any IP. And the reason is because my setup right now is not optimized for this project. So in order to make the project work, we need to increase the timeout. So we increase the timeout to 1 second, and we try again. So let's remove the folder, and we wait. And we see that we finally found the IP, one IP. There's only one IP in this case. And we find that the information, the result, will contain multiple values. It will contain obviously the IP, the ACNet information, the name, and obviously also it will contain if this website has the CSL certificate on this IP, and it will also contain the common names for this certificate. So how does it work? I mean, what information you need to put here? What data we need to run the code? I mean, if you go to the file nonhost.go, you will find multiple websites that already have the data required to run the code. So how do I get this data? So if you go, I mean, if you find a website, let's say I take this website as an example, we see that we're getting an error, an internal server error, but this doesn't help us in anything. So we need to find a URL that helps. So in this case, this is the URL that helps. If we type this URL, we see that we finally get information from here. So this is the URL we're gonna use. That's why I'm not using the default. I mean, the default will be just this URL. That's why I'm using, in this case, this URL. The other thing we required is the keywords. So on the keywords, you will put inside any keyword on this response. So let's see, for example, this is the URL, this is the URL, and this is the response from this URL. And here we find everything on the body. You see, this is the whole body. So from here, we will take any keyword related to this project. I mean, you can pick anything, obviously, but you need to get specifically keywords that represent this website. So you're gonna take, for example, HTML. I mean, you can put HTML, but that shouldn't help in anything, because most of the website have HTML on as keyword on the body. So, for example, in this case, it should be a state of insurance. So that's why I put state of insurance here, and I put also this one right here, which corresponds to this one right here. You see, always take keywords from the top of the body. I mean, at the beginning of the body. So don't take any keyword, like, for example, from here, because it's not optimized. I mean, the code is optimized to run as fast as possible, and that's why the buffer is here. I mean, the buffer will only take as many bytes as you put it right here. So, for example, in this case, obviously it downloads everything, but on the code, for example, if you put this number right here, it will probably read only until this part. If you put a keyword from here, it won't work. So you will always have to put keywords that represent that starts, that are at the beginning of the body. Okay, so that's what with the keywords, the URL, the buffer size. I mean, the TCP timeout must be optimized for your system. So in this case, for example, it's 1 second. I mean, the buffer size, it could be, I mean, anything. The default is this one. And also this is the most important part here, the ACNM names. So how do I get this ACNM name? So if I go again to the website for security trails, we get that it's using Akamai, right? But security trails is super useful that we get historical information of the DNS. So if we check DNS information, the historical DNS information from this website, we see that most of the time it's using Akamai. I mean, they did a very good job here. Very good job. Very good job. They didn't make any mistake here. We see that it's using Akamai. But sadly, at the end, I mean, at the start of this website, they were using, we can see that it was using this particular ACNM. So that's what I'm using right here, this ACNM. And if we check on the ACNM dataset, we see that it only corresponds to a small IP range. So this is why it's super easy, I mean, super fast to get the IP from this website. And that's basically it for this website. So let's check the next one. The next one, the same, it's almost the same. We go to check the DNS information. Is obviously, again, is using Akamai, but we check historical, we check everything we can. So we see that I put here Mouse Electronic and Yours Communication, so probably we find something related to this Akamai. Okay, here you see that they made a mistake here. It says Roger Communication Canada, so that's what we're gonna put with here, Roger Communications. And we also we're missing this one, so let's continue checking. Okay, it's using only Akamai on this project. We check subdomains. The only subdomain is this one, so it's fine. So let's check this one, the top level domain. And we got here, it says it's using Mouse Electronic. So this is where I put here, Mouse Electronic. This is where I get this ACNet information. So, okay, that's with that one, okay? I will check the response. I pick distributor, which should be here. You see distributor, and also this keyword. You see, and I pick it at the beginning of the body. You see, I don't pick keyword from here because that won't work for this project. Okay, that's for this one. Let's check the next one. This one. Verified source. Okay, if you go to the website, here we see this using Cloudflare. Let's check historical data. I mean, this was super easy, you know. So it's using Cloudflare, and here it's using Quality Technology Services. So that's what I'm using here. You see, Quality Technology Services. For the URL, so why I'm using that URL, because if I type this, for example, this path, you see that it redirects me to another part of the website. You see, that's why I'm using this search right here, this one. Okay, so it's gonna go on. So we see that we finally got the website, but if we don't have this, I mean, we get the index. Let's see what we got. We see that we're getting a redirection. You see, at the end of if we're getting a redirection, But we don't want to check redirections. We want the full URL, so the final URL, so this URL. That's why I'm using this URL here. And the keywords, I mean, nothing hard to do. The keywords is just the response. You know, if I go here, you see there's a verification here, verification. And also we get this one right here. Okay, so this is not going here. Okay, so if I copy this and type it here, we see that this keyword is here. You see, that's why I put this keyword. Obviously this quality technology services. Okay, that's with that one. Okay, so let's go to the next one. This one right here. For this one, is using Akamai. You see, it's using Akamai. And we start with the same. You know, we go to the historical and we check any mistake they could make. Any mistake, let's check any mistake here. Akamai. Everything is good. Everything is good, even at the start. Okay, let's check two domains. So domains, there are no other two domains, so we go to the top level. This one is still using Akamai, which is great, and we check again the historical Akamai, everything great. Akamai, everything is great here. Still everything great. Everything is still great here. Everything great, even at the start. So let's check subdomains. Let's check what we find here. So we see multiple host providers. So, okay, so let's check here, multiple providers. So let's concentrate. I mean, if you find many providers, what you will do is just check any IP. No IP. Okay, so we'll also check any depth. No depth. Okay, any stage. Okay, so you see a staging here. You see, so a staging is not protected. So we put it here. You see, ArcNet. This is what I put it here. ArcNet. This is one. Okay, so how we get the other one? So obviously we from here, you know. I mean, you can start searching everything, and you will find, for example, this one right here. So if I type this, searching for this SNS information, we don't find anything. You see, we don't find anything on the SNS information. We don't find. I don't know why this is the case. So for this case, you will go and copy the IP. You will copy the IP. Here type IP, and here we will get the ACNN number. So if we type here this, we get the information of the ACNN. So this is the name of the ACNN. This is what I put here. TNT Technologies, to this one right here. We do this with everything we find. So for example, Amazon, it should be here. Well, it's not here, I don't know, for some reason. Okay, I already put it. Amazon, you know, for example, this one. You can. The goal is to get everything you can, every information you can. Obviously, if you put many ACNN names, you eventually it will take longer to get the IP. So let's see the IPs. Okay, so let's check for Mouser. So if you run the Mouser software, you will get these IPs. These are going to be the IPs you will find. You see there are many IPs in this case, so probably because they are using some kind of load balancer. But we can make sure, for example, in this case, that Mouser.com is from this IP. Let's check now this one right here. If we check the result, we get this. This is the IP, and this actually is the real server because we're getting the CSL certificate on this IP. Let's go to this one. This one. So we can see many IPs also. And we find, for example, this one that contains the SSL certificate. So we can make sure that this is the actual IP for the server. These probably are the VMS workers. So this is probably the load balancer, and these are the workers, the workers for that load balancer. This one right here, okay, let's analyze first. Let's analyze this one. We can see that's using Akamai. So we check historical information. So we see that's using Akamai in everything. It's pretty good, but at the end we find something interesting here. So we check the IP. This is the IP. But it belongs to this one right here. If we check the name of the SNN, we get Deutsche Bank, this name right here. This is the name, but you see here, you see? This one right here. And we still continue with the next one. Let's check 2 domains. Top level domains. We found this one. But this is too old. I mean, you can see it's 210. This is too old. This is 2010. I mean, this is we shouldn't care about it. So let's check 2 domains. We can put this one, but I mean, it's only with the URLs with the endpoints that are not actually relevant. You see. So we need to check for APIs, any APIs. So there are many. So let's search for APIs. This is also supposed. Oh look, this is also supposed. Okay, Google. Let's check what's the IP. So I think this is not for this one, okay? So only these 2. So if we check the result we get from running this code, we check that it's using Google Fiber. We check also that it's using Deutsche Bank, this one right here. Also these ones. Let's check this one. It's using Cloudflare. So the process is the same on everything, So you need to dig in here in the code with historical information. So on historical information, we find this. This is TML technologies. If we get the IP and put it right here, we get TMN technologies, you see? So that's the name we put there. TMN technologies. And the other ones are just from the subdomains. You see, this one, which is here, and the other ones. I mean, for example, Amazon, where Amazon is. Okay, so if we run with this part of the code, this one, we get. So let's see what IP we get for this one right here. If we go to this folder, we get this, you see? So for example, they're using Amazon in this case.